Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're doing well. Now, I'm not sure when I'm going to post this video, but it's definitely something that I wanted to look into a bit more. With Red Guardian being in the CCP for whatever time, and obviously, like I said, I don't know when this video will be coming out, there was a synergy that I really wanted to try out, as well as there's a couple of that I wanted to try out, but one in particular that just kind of stood out to me, and that was Abomination. So this one here, all attacks have a 50% chance to inflict poison, dealing 70% of modified attack over 10 seconds. Now, that interested me a lot. And this definitely has interested me because there hasn't really been so much love for this champion. Abomination recently saw Mole Man as a synergy perk or improvement. Yes, there is the MODOK synergy, which actually I think is kind of cool for this, and we'll just read out some and what I'm going to be pairing this with in a moment. And as well, Heimdall synergy is going to be there, obviously, to help out with the just increasing of damage and what I'd like to really see from this character. The Mole Man synergy, which I will not be using, is a little bit different in that if you're inflicted with a debuff, you gain a fury buff, increasing attack. Now, obviously, that's incredibly important, and maybe that's the case if I want to see some sort of like, well, playing of Abomination when it comes to like having and losing damage based on bleed attacks or dot attacks. The fact is, I don't really like that. I want to be all about trying to save as much health as possible. I don't want to be having to heal up my champion all the time, especially for exhibition videos like this, as well as testing, and as well as if I wanted to utilize that champion on a full-time basis. This is where this MODOK synergy helps out to really amplify that Red Guardian synergy. Has 50% more poison damage. So this is the team that I've opted for, and I really want to utilize and test out mainly Red Guardian and MODOK's kind of linking synergies, but as well I've put in Heimdall synergy as well, just to kind of increase and, as I said, amplify some just like raw damage numbers, and as well obviously seeing if we can increase the extent of damage. There may be some other synergies out there. Put in the comment section who you might try out in this whole kind of test if you were to do it yourself. Now, yes, you might be saying, well, if you do bleed yourself, Rich, you are able to do more poison damage. Again, that's still fun to see, but at the same time, if you want to utilize this champion for stuff like Excel-based interactions, and as well other content in game where, you know, you've got poison vulnerability, I'm sure a lot of you do not want to spend your units to then add on more health potions to get the health up. So the thing I'm really going to focus on is all about just kind of trying to do as much poison damage as possible, and as well trying not to lose so much health in the process. This would obviously be better for an awakened version, which we're going to test out in a moment, but I got a 6-star one, so I want to see what the numbers are like. Let's roll it. Okay, so here we are with the 6-star version, and again, the thing that I want to point out is that I am trying not to lose quite so much health, and especially from a point of saying, right, well, if I've got an Abomination, it's handy for various things. Toxic Splash, I must admit, if you've got this champion and as well have you got Heimdall synergy, not to mention the fact that sometimes, yes, you do get the Fury attack, and as well that can be helpful against Toxic Splash, as well as some of the other kind of scuffy interactions that Act 6 has got to offer. And I actually used this champion in 6.1.6 for some very random lane. I think it was Toxic Splash right towards the top right near Sentinel. And I must admit, will I use this champion again? Probably not, especially recently pulling a 5-star Heimdall does mean that it opens up some other options of champions that I could be using against that particular scuffy node. However, though, let's get back to the fight and talk about what's going on. Now, I'm building up the poison, and now I would love to have tried this champion out being an awakened version. That doesn't mean I'm going to go out avidly to awaken it, but as well we're going to be looking at a little bit later on the idea of like an awakened version, especially a 4-star version with signature 99. I can't remember, but I want to assume that this champion has entered the 5-star pool, but I could be completely wrong with that. And especially with the idea that you could have a 200 signature version, actually sounds quite interesting. With the team with Red Guardian, and as well going up against any kind of node that Caban create with poison vulnerability, does put some great interest my way. And as well it should do for many others who are really kind of utilizing and looking at random champions to help them out. But I must say that the poison damage was very, very nice and it was very, very good to see it stacking to at least 10. With ticks with the 6-star version, kind of seeing about like your 200s, your 300s per tick. Obviously that's not completely correct against all the dot damage you're going to see, but still it was incredibly nice to see this, and as well picking up, I think it was like just over 220 hits in order to take down, which is basically built around debuff damage as opposed to before when I tried out the champion, and I think it was with the Mole Man synergy, and I was trying to get myself bled, and it wasn't nice. So it was very nice from my end to see the fact that the debuff damage, the poison, actually looks really, really nice. Just before we get into the 4-star action, I just want to take the 6-star out into variant 2, and in particular variant 2.3.2, so that is ISO Infused, I want to say, or ISO Intrigued. In any case, that one has some poison vulnerability lanes, and as well, this is really fantastic. The damage output with this synergy put in place, and as well having that other synergy with MODOK, does mean that the interaction with all those champions, yes, it does mean Red Guardian is not an XL champion, and as well can't be overly beneficial, but still, if you're utilizing some of the other champions like MODOK, and if you've got MODOK, Abomination, and as well Red Guardian, and maybe some other XL champions, it can mean that this is very much a just kind of like blitz through, and the poison vulnerability just meant that the extent of poison that Abomination was gathering was just absolutely melting Vulture in some of the scenes that we're seeing at the moment. This was incredible and really cool to see this nice little interaction. Now this is where a 5-star with high signature and as well as 6-star with high signature could mean that if you had a Red Guardian and MODOK in a synergy group, not to mention obviously it's up to you whether or not you want to bring Heimdall, that's an optional thing. But the fact is, those two synergy groupings together does mean that you're going to see some nice damage. And obviously this being a 99 signature, it's only a rank 3 4-star, so you're not going to see some amazing things, and I decided that I was just getting incredibly bored with eating so much damage through the block that I was just like, nah, this isn't really going to be too interesting to actually put in the video. But I just wanted to make the point and highlight the fact that if you had a 6-star of this or a 5-star, then obviously you get Irradiate, which is contact with the Abomination's Gamma Irradiated body has an X% chance to poison the target, reducing their health recovery by 30% and dealing 461.9 direct damage over 12 seconds. Obviously it's not so extensive when it comes to scaling that up, and obviously you will need the Red Guardian and MODOK synergy to produce some amazing damage output. But I was so happy to see that the 6-star, especially with this synergy pairing, was just incredibly nice to compare off and create this video all about. So yeah, if you've still got content to do where there's any kind of poison vulnerability, and as well maybe there's something like a toxic splash, then do consider the fact of using Abomination and the Eastern Blocker synergy if you indeed have a Red Guardian. This was a really fun synergy, and it's sometimes very nice to kind of find these little gems, especially with a lot of other synergies and a lot of other champions being overlooked. So it's nice to see a little Abomination one there. I'll see if I can do any other videos about some of the other ones that have been put together with Red Guardian in the time frame that I've got. But anyway, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Check out some other content that is on screen at the moment from Marvel Contest of Champions news and other stuff that I've been covering. And as well, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching again. Bye bye for now.